All right, it's Joe Burrow, our weekly visit. This is an embarrassing question. So you finally beat the Browns. I should know this. You're from Ohio. This is embarrassing. This is an embarrassing moment. I've never asked you this. Did you grow up a Browns or a Bengals fan?
I wasn't really a fan of the NFL growing up. I was more of a college football fan. I didn't watch. I like Drew Brees. I like the Saints. But I didn't. I moved around a lot when I was really little. And my whole life and my whole family was just college football. And so I was more of a Cornhusker fan.
Yeah. Urban Meyer told me that one time before he took the Jags job. He said, I watch film on Sunday. I don't even watch the NFL.
Yeah.
I warned him. I said, I'm not sure if that's a thing you should make public, Urban, before you take an NFL job. It's kind of a complicated competitive league. So it was your 26th birthday. Is that today?
It was Saturday.
Okay. So, in season, did you even get cake, or is that some sort of a sugar-free zone thing?
I got a pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin comes from the earth? It's healthy?
There you go.
That's what my wife says. If
Something
the
like
shit
that
comes from the ground, you can eat it.
Yeah.
So this was, for whatever reason, mostly Myles Garrett. This had been a really tough matchup, a divisional rival, Ohio. This had just been, you had a breakthrough moment. What was it?
Well, our defense played great the entire game. We were able to get stops and get off the field while we figured it out on offense. The first quarter was a struggle, but after that, we started to move the ball really well and move the ball down the field and hit explosive plays. And so our defense really kept us in it until our offense started clicking.
You're going to face Brady this week. Does it mean anything?
Just the next game.
That's a Tom answer. That is such a great.
Well, I think if you get to something I was really focused on coming into the league is if you get to I grew up watching this guy, or I really liked him growing up. I think you lose your competitive advantage when you're out on the field, and so I really tried to limit that when I was able to come into the league, and I think it's served me well.
You think you just coming into the league, you literally had made a decision you're not going to be a fan boy?
Yeah, and I'm a fan of people that play the game really well. But as far as me personally, I think I can stack myself up with just about any one of them.
There was a moment last week, I thought it was really impressive, where Baker Mayfield was literally in Los Angeles 48 hours and went out and played pretty good football.
Yeah.
And as good as you are, you came off an injury. The first couple of weeks, it's just not right. It's hard. I said on the air, it felt like a remarkable achievement. Did you see it, and what did you make of it?
I watched the first half of it, and then I got a little too tired and had to head to sleep. But it's always, that when somebody gets on a new team very quickly and comes into the game and has to figure out how to operate, and then when a starting quarterback gets hurt in the middle of the game and a backup has to go in and play really well. Those are two very similar situations, I think. And whenever somebody can go in and play really well in that kind of situation, I have a lot of admiration for that, because they're not getting the reps in practice. And in Baker's situation, he didn't get any reps with them. He probably threw 25, 30 balls to Rams guys when he got there, and has to go out and play like that. And on national TV, I had a lot of respect for what he did.
Are national TV games different? Timeouts longer?
Long, yeah. You feel that you got to keep yourself warm. There's a lot more TV timeouts. Keep yourself engaged. It just feels like a longer game.
So now you're getting into a time where you've played your best football. Now we're getting into December. Everybody has tape on you. Not all your teammates are healthy. Compare first year, mid-December, to now. Compare last year. Is it starting to bubble up like last year's roll?
Yeah, we're starting to just, down the stretch last year, we just found ways to win games. It wasn't always pretty. Some games we had, high scoring affairs, but we just found ways to win games, and we're starting to do that now. We're being able to win games a lot of different ways, whether it's with our defense and our running game, or throwing the football, scoring a lot of points. We're just adapting to the situation at hand very quickly on Sundays, and figuring out ways to get it done.
So this sounds odd, but in the college game, Joe, you play in mostly the same weather. You played in the South. It was either domed or warm. In the NFL, you can go from Tampa one week to Foxborough the next to Buffalo. Yeah. It is different, right? Does it change for you?
You have to play the game slightly differently, whether it's your operation on the sideline to keep your body warm to be able to go out and do your job, or whether it's maybe trying to push a ball into a window that on a non-windy day you would try, but maybe if it's a really windy day you might not try it. So the weather does affect both how you play and your operation throughout the week.
So you guys have been a very good second half team. It's funny how this season works. Early in the year, you were getting 3rd and 11s. You were getting behind the chains. It was something that was driving you crazy. You were trailing in games. You've become a better starting team. You're also a very good finishing team. Obviously, if it was simple, everybody would start quickly. So I'm not sure if I've asked you this. Do you like to come into a game and have like 12 scripted plays? Take our listeners to this. Do you come in and kind of know the first series, what you're going to run in order?
Yeah, every team has, I think it's usually 10 to 15 plays that are scripted. And then you have your first 3rd and short, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. So you know kind of what's going to come up in certain situations. You have your first red zone calls that you like. So when you get down there, you kind of know what to expect as far as defense wise, play wise, what you're going to see, and that's where the preparation comes in.
Will you run those plays again at a later moment in the game?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Some of them are one and dones, and some of them are base plays that you just run all the time. So it just depends.
Are you at a point now with Zach? Take me to where your in-game communication is in terms of, I want to run this play now.
It kind of depends. Some games there's a look that I see that I think a certain play would be really good against, and I think what is great about Zach is that he trusts me enough and trusts what I'm seeing on the field enough to give that play a shot, or if he doesn't want to call it, he explains why and what situation maybe would rather have that play. And so the communication between me and our coaches is exactly what you want as a quarterback. It just gives you a lot of trust that your coaching staff is doing all the work that they can and will do to put you in the best position to succeed.
If you're like most men, you want to be confident and you want to look good. But finding accessories that are both high quality and stylish, it can be a challenge. That's where our friends at Vincero come in. Accessories, watches, sunglasses, jewelry. Their top tier designs are sleek and exude class. So if you're looking to stand out from the rest, it's simple. Vincero is the way to go. At Vincero Collective, their mission is simple. Build premium products that can be worn daily, yet are built to last. They design all their products in-house, in small batches, without sacrificing on style. Not only does Vincero make fantastic watches, they also offer a line of iconic sunglasses. All of their sunglasses are polarized and scratch resistant, and all the glasses are made with high quality Italian acetate and steel hinges. Vincero is the absolute perfect gift for yourself or somebody you love. Whether you're shopping for a watch, sunglasses, jewelry, you'll find that special something with Vincero Collective. For a limited time only, limited 20% off and free shipping with our exclusive code Cowherd at VinceroCollective.com/Cowherd. Get 20% off and free shipping site-wide with a code Cowherd at VinceroCollective.com. Support our show. Use the code Cowherd at VINCERO Collective.com. Accessorize your life with style at Vincero.
I've heard it said that early a quarterback plays the game, later he manipulates it. Do you feel now you are more manipulating the game?
Yeah, that's you start off every game pretty similar. You're trying to get a feel for, because you can watch tape, but it's really different once you're out there. So you're trying to get a feel for guys' speed, guys' drop angles, leverage, how much time you're going to have in the pocket, and all that kind of plays into how you end up playing the game later on.
So this week, Mahomes had a ridiculous play where it looked like he was throwing a grenade out of a foxhole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the hell was that? Do you think he practiced that?
Yeah, I'm sure he has at some point. I'm sure he just didn't throw it out there. I'm sure he practices a lot of that stuff that you see on Sundays that really nobody else is doing. Whether he's just like messing around and having fun in before practice, I'm sure he tries all that stuff beforehand.
So you've done something at practice that you haven't done in a game, right?
Yeah. I think that's how you grow as a player is you try things out in practice that you think might work, and then you find out, okay, this needs a little more work before I deploy it, or I'm feeling really comfortable in this technique to go and deploy it in this situation on game day. And so you practice all that stuff to whatever situation you might be in, you can pull it out if you need it.
A couple of weeks ago, you were pushed out of the pocket to your left. I forget what game it was. And I watched it and I thought, I wonder, and the defender was on your hip. And I thought, I wonder if Joe's ever considered just switching the ball to his left hand and throwing it out of bounds.
We have practiced that before in case that situation does come up.
Wow.
Yeah. So you never know what you might need. I haven't needed to, but I've practiced it in case I do.
So you can throw a left-handed spiral for some distance.
I can get it out of bounds for sure if I needed to, if he had a hold of my right arm, but I'm not throwing a 10-yard out or anything like that.
So you've said before, you got compared to Batman last week. You were a big superhero fan. So my only knock is that it was mostly his gadgets. He didn't have a huge physique. He was wealthy and he was almost like a trust fund kid with a bat signal. It was a lot of, whereas I always felt like everybody else had something, speed, strength. But there was a peculiar fascination with Batman because I thought he was the funniest. He was kind of weird and funny, and I kind of liked Batman. Of the superheroes, I've had this discussion with my son. If you had, this is weird, but I've said if you had one superhero trait, what would it be? Now, a lot of people say, oh, I'd be invisible. And I tell my son, the problem is you'd hear people talk about you and they would say awful things and it would ruin your self-esteem. And then people say, well, what if you could fly? And I say, yeah, but if you could fly, then you'd be the boy in the neighborhood that could fly and you'd be like weird and like you couldn't go out. That's my reasoning. If I could give you one superhero quality, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Explain.
Well, wouldn't it, if you want to go to the grocery store, you just pop up in the grocery store and grab your stuff and then pop right back home. You want to go on a cross-country road trip, just pop over to California real quick and then pop right back.
See, my son talks about stuff like that. Do you think that's in your lifetime, will you believe that will happen?
No.
Okay. Okay.
That'd be sick, though.
It would be sick. When people say we could live on Mars in our lifetime, my takeaway is always, I don't like heights. Like, why would I want to go to Mars? I don't even like being on the Space Needle. I'm from Seattle. I get sick of.
I'd go up in space. That'd be pretty cool.
You would?
Yeah. That'd be a really cool experience.
All right, finally. So it is a weird time of the year where it gets really intense. Like I'm watching the World Cup and it's really intense. Like I'm watching Mac Jones scream at his coach, and football in December is like the weather sucks. Your teammates are hurt. Can you extract a little joy at this time of the year? Or do you feel like, okay, this is do or die stuff?
Yeah, wins are still wins. You know, those post-game locker rooms after wins are why you play the game, and they're so incredible. But also, I think why we're so good as a team is we know when to lock in, but we also know when to have fun, both on the field and off. You know, I really enjoy going to practice every day, and we know when we need to lock in and get our work in, you know, in team periods and group install periods and stuff like that. But you know, we also have a lot of fun in stretching, you know, individual, all that stuff. And so we really make it fun to come to work every day.
Yeah. When you fly into Tampa, say, what do you do on Saturday night? What does the team do?
We usually watch college games in the dining room, you know, eat together. Some guys will find a restaurant in the area and order takeout and bring it back to the hotel. Some guys will go to dinner. And, you know, those are fun. Those are fun nights.
Yeah. Well, you have a young team. Most of you guys are kind of generationally the same dude. Who is the oldest guy on the team?
I think Clark, our long snapper, or Kevin, our one of our punters. Those guys have been here for a while.
Yeah. All right, Joe, go get him. Thanks, man.